sorry. This is actually an additional piece of subfloor that's put onto the subfloor, and I can see that from here. Maybe you can too. That's a subfloor right there, right in this crack. Right in this crack. Okay, so the wood, that is what's going to happen over there. The wood is also going to be ran over top of this. I believe this is backer board or cement board. I don't know. But whatever was happening here, and we'll talk about that in a second, this was meant to take a load, like of brick, of stone, of concrete, of something. But whatever it was meant to do is not happening and didn't happen. So I'm going to be taking the barn wood and the extra pieces, and we're going to be integrating the barn wood into this corner to make it more uniform. Okay, that's the barn wood. Let's talk about this big boy. Okay, don't mind the weird doll. She's our buddy. All right, now, whether you can see it or not, and you can't because we have done a lot of demo, our beam was directly above, totally fine. On the left-hand side, you will see red brick. Red brick that sticks out probably about maybe 3 to 4 inches, right? On the right, we have no brick. And if the drywall were in place, you would see a hard seam right here where the drywall goes against the wall in this direction and at an angle in this direction. And thereby, that places this entire pizza oven looking like it's going into that wall, which it is. So you've got your hard seam right here. So essentially, you've got this much brick, right? What did they say, about 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches? It's 2 to 3 inches too far to the right. And if you looked at it before the drywall was taken off, well, heck, we've got 2 to 3 inches, right? We've got 2 to 3 inches here. So why isn't this entire pizza oven over to the left and centered on top of the red brick and out of this wall? Doesn't make any sense. Except for the fact that you had a perfect storm of potentially incompetent people. So we already know about the bricklayers and the masons that did this, okay? And by the way, there was no moisture barrier. Usually you have some sort of a wrap. There was no wrap, just foam board and then drywall, which is why we could tell there was a moisture issue. The flue, this is lined up with the flue of the chimney, okay? So I wish I could see the plans or the blueprints, and maybe I will find them, but there was a plan for something here, but I don't understand why the flue wasn't here. Why wouldn't it be on the center of these 2x4s? Like, why? Why isn't it on the middle? I don't know. Okay. I've gone round and round and round on what to do to make this look better. I had ultimately concluded that what I was going to do is I was going to do a stone inlay on this wall up over, covering the entire face of the brick onto here straight up. So this would all be stone, like it was completely intentional. Amazing, gorgeous, and I still really love that idea. But we are at a point where there are so many things that we're running into that we have to cut costs. So we know that that could potentially be a plan later. So at this point, what we are going to do is we are going to drywall everything, drywall up toward the brick, drywall down over the brick, drywall it in. And so it's standing alone, independent, without the brick exposed, is going to make this much more tolerable. It's still going to be kind of funky, but again, I think that aesthetically with maybe some open shelves and maybe like some accents or doing something to this area, I can throw that off a little bit. I don't think it'll be as obvious. But again, just like the mantle upstairs that was out that much, do you see how that's clearly, like if you took that beam, like, okay, duh, it's off. That's what the mantle looked like. And again, we have the same exact issue with the exposed red brick. Why? So that's what we're gonna do there. the leak that was happening upstairs. This has since been fixed. He's ripped all the rotten stuff out. We've managed to reuse a lot of wood that has been taken out from other areas and fix all the rotting that has happened down into here. So great news. Would you like to have a testament on why, or things that are frustrating? So we took this wall out. This has not been touched by me nor any of my contractors or carpenters. What? What? He's held on by something. By the hair of his chinny chin chin. What? Hey, you want to come on in? This is ludicrous. What they obviously did was mismeasure. Didn't account for that gap. This was obviously installed first because out here you have a ton of meters. The meters were probably incorporated first. This was put in and then everything built up around it. I don't know if that's the right way to do things, but that doesn't seem, very intuitive to me. Now, what I don't know is, was there something that was going to be here? Was there something that was going to be here that this would need to get to? They needed to remove these to get to something here where there would need to be access out? I don't know. I have no idea. Now, if that were the case, that makes sense. But right now, it just looks like shoddy. Anyway, that's this situation. Okay, our doors. Oh, our doors. Beautiful, antique, leaded glass, double French doors that are interior doors that have been installed on the outside. The other thing about these doors, again, a mismeasurement. Now, whether it's a mismeasurement by incompetence or whether it was done this way intentionally, there's several potential things that have happened here. Number one, we liked the transom. They installed the transom. They had these doors that they found, they bought, whatever. They loved them. They said, I want those doors in that spot. I don't care what you got to do, make it work. And you know what? Sometimes there's bosses that are like that. It's not appropriate for the spot, make it work, they say. So what has happened? They have made it work, but not really. These doors were originally 8-foot doors. That breaks my heart. They have been cut to fit this 7.5-foot opening, which is not standard by any means. If we look down here at our bottom windows, we can see that the left one has been cut a lot shorter than the right one. Additionally, they have not been able to support their own weight, and they are starting to